Welcome to Decaying Winter, a game that's basically the 1930s, as in reference to what your grandparents told you. Because one guy has a gun, he keeps shooting the other guy in the back, another guy has a shotgun, you keep stealing things from people, and there was a ninja. So anyways, I decided to play Decaying Winter for the first time. Decaying Winter is basically a scavenger game that doesn't really have a set time. It's more so futuristic than any other time. It primarily uses weapons around the map, which of course you go scavenging for, and the waves get harder day by day. As long as one person survives on your team, everyone respawns the next day, which makes the game pretty interesting and easy, and basically kind of puts out there that you want to have as many people alive as possible. You're also given 5 inventory slots to handle as much as you possibly can in the game, and you can drop these items back at your spawn, which they will not despawn day after day from, so it is usually worth going back to your spawn to drop a few items while the scavenging period is still going on. It'll tell you that the storm is beginning when it's about to bring a wave, and it will pretty much blind and numb the majority of your health if you don't get back to your base. Typically it won't kill you, but it will numb the majority of your health until you're basically in the red, which is about 10% health on Roblox if you don't get back in time. And of course, when you are back, it'll pretty much say that the area is a safe zone and that it is no longer contaminated. So overall, Decaying Winter, in a game in my book, I rate the game roughly a 9 out of 10 for overall graphic design, gameplay, and really just everything else because it's such an incredibly good game. It does get you into the atmosphere, the music's great with it, and honestly, all around just an amazing game and extremely well developed, honestly, for the style of it. Now, as you may notice with a lot of the game's details, typically one player can be very much more overpowered than the other person, and sometimes faster, slower, or possibly they do more damage. There is something called perks in this game, which a lot of other YouTubers and I will possibly cover in the future as well, and perks typically are something that essentially give your player kind of a boost or essentially a buff in the game before, during, and kind of after the waves as well sometimes, depending on really what it is. I don't really want to cover those in this video, but in future videos I do want to cover those, so if you guys want to see that, do feel free to leave a like or a comment on that, I guess. It'd be really helpful. So anyways, typically mostly in the game what I'm ending up doing is going around scavenging for loot and looking for as many items as possible. Now typically getting a melee is probably your #1 priority. If you're able to get back with a melee, that's going to be most important, and actually better off would be a gun. But guns are rare, and sometimes you won't get the ammo with the gun, so it's more worth it to just have the melee, because that isn't instantly going to break, and you're not going to run out of ammunition for a melee weapon, which would be interesting if you could. Now, something that also should be mentioned in the game is that the game actually is a 5-player game, typically. Now, when you have less players, is it possible to survive? Absolutely. Now, this typically does happen when someone joins the game, and usually, between night 3 to 5, we'll say. And that just makes it a little bit harder, honestly, for you to continue playing the game and for you to do more waves, but it does gradually become more interesting in that manner, I guess. There are traps obviously set around the map, so it does become difficult if someone doesn't really have armor or a good perk or whatever, because then you kind of get blown off the side of buildings and other things, and of course there are gas traps, there are bomb traps, and a whole bunch of other things, as well as actually like goons walking around the map shooting you with shotguns, which is quite painful, but also at the same time, pretty cool. The actual odds of an individual winning in this game is incredibly low, making it more of a teamwork game overall, I'd say. So definitely try to coordinate. There is actually an active chat that you are able to talk to the other players in. Usually I would recommend playing this game with your friends rather than randoms, because with randoms you're going to usually last a couple of nights unless they're actually playing this game almost every day. Similar to, I would say, maybe Phantom Forces or like Arsenal when you have a god tier player on your team that plays the game every day. Same situation with Decaying Winter, but make sure, obviously, if you can get your friends around for this game, that's probably what's going to be best for it, because it is very difficult to survive alone. One of my favorite tips to give out to newer players would be to, when you are going back to the safe zone, as in the storm is coming, it is most likely going to be in your best interest to kind of set up traps. Now, there are remote mines, there are landmines, there are things you can walk over, essentially, that'll make them slower, especially the goons, there are gas traps, a whole bunch of different things. And some of these goons sometimes have guns, so it's a little more difficult to avoid them, so putting these traps out, especially the remote mines, makes your life a little bit easier in some aspects, rather than having to get into gunfight with an NPC that basically is aimbot, or else we're all going to be singing Pumped Up Kicks, which is basically that kid outrunning a bullet song. That was a really disturbing video, but it does wrap up the US school system, so it wasn't inaccurate. And I don't know about you, man, but that song was written in 2011 to me. I mean, have you seen the phones in that generation? I can throw them at people, they're literal bricks! Hold on, I lost track. Guy getting shot in the back, ninja, Decaying Winter. Alright, got it. So anyways, that's pretty much Decaying Winter. Decaying Winter is an awesome game on Roblox. Do give it a try. And of course, leave a like, and feel free to subscribe if you guys haven't already to the channel. I do stream over on Twitch, Yakere on Twitch if you guys want to go follow me over there. And I did actually just start a Twitter, and I will be starting an SMP series on Minecraft pretty soon, so if you guys happen to be interested in that, just join the Discord, I guess, because that'll be coming out pretty soon as well. We're planning to launch around December 3rd, so POG. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.